during the peak of COVID, I went to Texas and worked there as a COVID ICU nurse. Um, and it was, it was really rough. It was really a really rough experience because you see deaths just happening like left and right, and I think really the most difficult part for me was, you know, um, family members not being able to say goodbye to their loved ones, and they can only say goodbye through um, Zoom call. So I remember this one incident where I took care of this one patient who was he was diagnosed with COVID pneumonia, and he was intubated, and his lungs were just stiff. He also developed what we call acute respiratory distress syndrome, or ARDS, where basically the lungs becomes very very stiff, that um, no matter how much volume you put in or oxygen concentration that you put in, the lungs is no longer responding to the oxygenation level. So all that aside, long story short, doctors think that this patient's going to die. Nurses think that this patient's going to die. Everybody thinks that this patient is gone. And I remember having that patient. I forgot his name, but I remember calling him Uncle, whatever his name was. He's unresponsive. I'm not getting any response from him. But here's what I do remember. When I was in Texas, the first thing that I do when I wake up is to have a quiet time with God, and I just pray to God. And I remember playing Oceans in a loop. It's on repeat, because I was thinking in my head, like, God, I'm so scared to be here right now. Like, honestly, like, I have so much fear in my heart, but I know that you're gonna do something amazing here. Um, like, you're calling me out to the unknown, right? I don't know what to expect, right? But I know that you called me here for a reason, so I'm gonna trust in you. So I was caring for this patient, and when basically everybody thought that this patient is done, I think I was the only one that goes inside of that room, and I was just claiming healing from the very top of his head to the very bottom of his feet. And I was just, talking to him, even though I know he's not going to talk back to me because he's intubated, right? There's no neural response. But I was telling him, God loves you. God loves you. Don't give up. Don't give up, because he's not going to give up on you. He's going to pull you out of this. Okay. And then literally day 6, I was still there. The following week, he's still there. But then things started to shift. I remember I was even singing this song by Tasha Cobbs. It's a song that we would play before on a Sunday morning. I forgot. I think it goes like, "Miracles happen when you move," right? Or how does the chorus go again? Um, or the bridge. I forgot. It's basically like, giants are still being slain, right? That basically God is still in the move. Oh, there it is. There is a move. That's the title of the song. So I was singing that song to this patient, and I was also singing like "Champion." You are my champion. Giants fall, right? So I was just claiming just healing, and I was just welcoming God in the room. And then things started to shift. His lungs are started to respond to our vent settings. His body is starting to respond to the medication. I am now getting some neurological response, until one day, right? Um, I was talking, I was just doing my thing, um, and he opened his eyes for me for the very first time. And this is like, I remember it was a glass window, and I started banging on the door, and I was trying to get the nurses to come, the charge nurse, everyone, and they thought that I have a code. They thought that we're coding this patient, so everyone just rushed towards the room, and I was just like, "You guys are not gonna believe this." And I looked at the guy. I was like, I forgot his name, but I know I kept on like calling him uncle, because he's like, I want you to feel like, hey, you're a family, we love you. Like, can you open your eyes? And he opened both eyes. I was like, can you wiggle your toes? And he started wiggling his toes. Can you start raising your hand? And he did. And I was just like, and every nurse out there, they were just in shock. And at that time, I was in tears, and I was just like, God, it wasn't me. Now I understand the purpose of you bringing me here to Texas, despite of me being fearful. Now I understand it's not about the money. It's not about this this great opportunity to become a nurse. Now I understand that you called me to do this. It's because of this you want me to actually experience your miracle firsthand. He opened his eyes when everybody thought he's dead. Everybody thought that he's gone. Following day, got extubated. Following day, now he's talking again. We have PT and OT on consult, and he was on his way to recovery. And everyone was asking, man, nurses that I work with during that time, they were like, man, how did you do it? Like, dude, you should come speak life to my patient right now. I'm like, listen, dude, I didn't do anything. I walk in that room and I speak life to my patient. I talk to him. I know I'm not gonna get any response, but I keep on telling him, God loves you. God is in this place. God is gonna move in you. You are healed from the top of your head to the very bottom of your feet. You're good. So don't give up on me, because God's not giving up on you. And that's what happened. So um, by me glorifying God, God really showed up in that room and really brought this person out of COVID. I think that's like one of the and I remember texting Nick. I remember texting Abby about it, because I was just like bawling my eyes out after I got home from a very long shift. And I was just like crying. I was like, I cannot believe, like, this is insane. That was like, everybody really thought that he's gone, and now he is back. It's amazing. So yeah.
That is so good. I just want to talk to anyone. If you're about to give up on the promise God gave you, look at this miracle that God did through Glenn. So keep glorifying God in your storm. Keep prophesying to that thing that it looks dead. Keep praying. Keep praising God, because it's just one thing away, one shift away. It's crazy how you said the men said he was dead, but God has something else in store for him in heaven.
Mm-hmm.
And he used you by glorifying God to unlock what he had for him in heaven.
Mm-hmm.
So that's so amazing. It's crazy because like people are like on the edge of giving up. You probably hear people all the time saying like, I'm just gonna give up on this person, or I'm just gonna, and I know you just want to speak life. So I just want to give you like 30 seconds. Who do you, if you want to, whatever the Lord placed on your heart to speak to people right now that is going through something that they want to give up, what would you tell them not to? How would you encourage them, Glenn?
I know you. I mean, for anyone who of you guys who are watching this video, there were many times that I myself too wanted to give up. When I was in nursing school, I wanted to give up. After nursing school, I wanted to give up when I went back to Boston, but then I found the common denominator, and the common denominator is really just trusting God. Whatever circumstance that you're in, if you just give up all of that and surrender that to God. And I know, like, as human beings, we have all these plans and we think we have it all figured out, but you have to seek God's plans, and you have to give up whatever the situation you're in. Maybe somebody had hurt you, or maybe it's a financial issue, or maybe it's a doctor's report, or maybe it's a family issue. Whatever it is that you have, that you're dealing with right now, if you just surrender that to God, there were times when, like, I really did not know what I was gonna do with my life, if I really do want to become a nurse, or if being a nurse is really my calling. But then I surrendered that to God, and now I understand why. Because there's an actual plan that He had for you, and all He wanted you to do was trust Him and be patient. And then once you see it unfold before your eyes, you will be in that moment, like you will have that aha moment, like, oh, now I know, now I understand that the pain that I had gone through is to prepare me for this very moment. Oh, that fear that I had, when I surrendered that to Him, this is what I actually have. This is what He had for me. This is what He wanted me to experience. Like, when I was fearful, when I was in Texas, during the peak of COVID, and I was very, very scared. I have fear in my heart, but then he wanted me to see what He was gonna do. So whatever situation that you're in right now, give it up to God, surrender it to Him fully. Don't trust on your own. Don't rely on your own strength. Rely on Him. There's this verse, 2 Corinthians 12:9. That's one of my favorite verse. His strength is made perfect through our weakness. So sometimes we find ourselves in a very vulnerable moment, and we just feel like all hope is lost. But then when we surrender what we have, you know, to God, something something incredible happens. He brings you out of that situation to experience His greatness.
Thank you for watching this video. If you want more content, subscribe over here and watch the next video over there. God bless you.